a little slideshow for you to try to keep myself on track so I can stop mumbling and muttering. All right, give me a minute. Sharing screen. Got it. Okay, where's our live stream? Here we go. Now we're going to start a slideshow. John Weldon, Republican collaborator. Okay, wait, where's the? Come on now. Two. Collaboration. Okay, John Weldon in a recent Post article said the three Republicans are all about accountability, transparency, and collaboration. Let's hold John Weldon accountable this term and not re-elect him because he has lacked transparency and he has collaborated to shut out the public voice at board meetings, and he's protected the mayor and the city council from any critique on underfunding our budget. He has not advocated very strongly for our schools on a local level, and in fact has been a detriment for us getting more money. The collaboration began with John Weldon being appointed to the Board of Education by Mayor Joe Ganim to cover board thing. I went for that seat as well, but I did not get elected. Ganim did not appoint me because I am not a collaborator. His first collaboration to silence voices was, apologies again. Okay, wait, you know what? I gotta take this off here. All right, community forums. We had some community forums going, and what we were doing, we were informing the public of how the city council voted on budgets, about the lack of funding for our schools and how they were damaging our schools, and how really the city council was, and the mayor, Joe Ganim, was responsible for all the cuts we as a board have to make. This did not sit well with the city council or the mayor, so they called up John Weldon, and the meetings got canceled. I, however, wanted the meetings to continue, and said if the council members felt uncomfortable hearing how budget cuts hurt the students, they get a little bit of a feeling how we feel when we have, as a board, have to make cuts to the school as a result of their decision making. So for the first time in a long time, the public was learning what was going on in the city and how their budgets and their kids were affected by the city councils in their district. We had hundreds of people coming out and being informed, and as you know, an educated voter is a dangerous thing, and John Weldon could not have that. Now, the changing bylaws. I'm going to show you a little quick video of the bylaws that John Weldon collaborated with the Democrats to change. The first video is going to show John Weldon waiting in the lobby with 4 Democrats and a fellow Republican downstairs for everybody to arrive so they could come upstairs, where 3 board members were already there and a room full of the public interested in hearing how they were going to try to change these bylaws. Now listen carefully. It might be a little hard to hear. I'll include the link so you can look at it later.
Oh, you guys are waiting for everybody else? The meeting's upstairs already. They're waiting for you guys. So why aren't you going up?
Do not photograph.
Oh, don't touch me. Did I put my hands on you though?
No, but don't photograph me.
Now this is our Board of Education waiting downstairs. There's five members downstairs while you, the public, are upstairs waiting to hear what's going on.
Don't photograph
touch me, darling.
Well,
now they want to go to the foot.
Don't touch me, darling.
Well, don't photograph.
Okay, we're security. Don't put your hands on me. Security?
Yeah.
Oh, we're waiting for everybody to get here so you guys can be calculating.
So that was the first video. Here comes the second video when we get upstairs, and a little bit of what happened in the meeting where the bylaws were changed. We were all trying to speak. Ms. Pereira, myself, and Mr. Ben Walker, who later left the board because they just couldn't deal with these bylaws because they really hurt our students and ourselves. And here we come.
The status quo continues to allow certain board members to manipulate district staff and board processes. We are constantly burdened by certain board members
All right, I had a little technical issues. I'm going to try again. Anyway, what happened at this meeting is Ms. Pereira spoke. I was not given a chance to speak on the bylaws. There were several problems with the bylaws that I wanted to point out that weren't pointed out. And as a result, students were removed from being able to speak at meetings and even be present at meetings because they removed them from the bylaws altogether. And I later had to bring them back. So anyway, let me see if I can get this video up. If I can, I'll just move on to the next slide. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wasn't able to. So what I'm gonna do is just go on to the next slide. I'll post the links in the chat. Now, this is student voices return to the board. This was months later. And watch right here. When a majority of the board voted in February to completely rewrite the bylaws, student reports were dropped from the sundown agenda. I had to bring it back through committee and bring it all the way back and get it back into the bylaws that the students can now serve. Now, finally, we got the students back. I think they've gone for like 6 or 7 months, and they were just coming back right before the pandemic when we went remote, and then the student voices dropped. They just came back again, and I'm glad to have the students. Student voices matter, and the public voices matter. John Weldon has silenced the public voices throughout his tenure. I'll show you something. I'll show you on the next slide. You'll see some more. Another Bridgeport Board of Education meeting canceled. One of the part of those changing bylaws I just shared was the chairman had gotten unilateral power to cancel meetings. The chair has canceled so many meetings and replaced them with special meetings, and here's why. Okay, wait. Apologies again. I gotta go back. This is the second meeting that was canceled. I mean, these were 2 back-to-back meetings. So he canceled about 10 to 12 meetings. The reason he's canceling these meetings is because at a special meeting, the public cannot comment. So I calculate approximately John Weldon has cost the public 200 spots to speak and bring ideas and problems to our attention. But anytime something controversial was up, John Weldon would cancel the regular meeting and make a special meeting where the public is not allowed to comment. And that's disgusting. What are we there for? We're there here to hear from you, the public. I'm not there for you guys to pat me on the back. I want to hear about the problems in the school system. I want to hear if your child is having problems in school. And I want to hear that at a public meeting, because I don't want to have all my information filtered through everybody. So after a while, the public got kind of savvy about what was going on, and they were starting to get angry that their voice was locked out. So he stopped canceling the meetings, and he found another way to shut you, the public, out. If you see this new agenda item, and the way it's been worded recently is public comment, agenda items only. Now, that means you could only comment on something that's on the agenda. If something you want to talk about is not on the agenda, guess what? You don't got the right to speak to us publicly and bring it up. And you don't have the right to shine a light. So, and this was most important. And most recently, I don't know if you recall that the School Volunteer Association was recently cut from our budget. And yes, I did vote for that cut as well, because we are having fiscal constraint. But here's the problem with what happened. The School Volunteer Association, the president, and some other members of the public were online trying to speak about the School Volunteer Association. But guess what? It was not on the agenda, so they were not able to speak up to save their program at that meeting. This is highly problematic because they've been able to speak. People have been able to speak when we made budget cuts before, and it has swayed the vote and caused us to change our mind and put things back. Maybe the program would have been put back if they had a chance to account for their program. But John Weldon stole that from them, stole their right to speak, stole their right to advocate for themselves in the public, and stole any voice they had. And it's been going on and on for 4 years. Your voice has been limited by John Weldon. So this will bring us to the last part. Once again, the public was shut out of this special meeting where we went into executive session to evaluate the superintendent, and we came out and the superintendent got a contract for a permanent contract. Now, the superintendent was not supposed to get a permanent contract. This whole process of hiring the superintendent was flawed. I'm not saying the superintendent was flawed, but the process in hiring the superintendent was flawed. The public was shut out every step of the way, again, at the direction of John Weldon. I'm going to share a video of that meeting where the superintendent was hired. And you can clearly see that John Weldon was instrumental in, although he wasn't the chair, he was instrumental in pushing this agenda. Let's hope this one works.
Yeah.
Chair lady would like to make a motion.
Wow. Oh, I got a video.
Bridgeport Board of Education enter into a 3-year employment agreement to commence July 1st with Michael Testani for the position of superintendent of schools.
First, we have a motion made, and we also have a second. Any discussion on that motion?
Mr. Chair, the amendment, I second Mr.
The
Chairman.
amendment is to not waive the residency was in Dr. John's previous contract. The amendment was seconded. I guess we need discussion on it.
Discussion, please.
Discussion on the amendment.
Okay, I don't know. Where is Zoom? Okay, I don't know if you heard the last of the video. I will put the videos and the links into the chat. I don't know if you heard the last of that, but I'll put the video in the chat. What is, in essence, what happened is the board went back into executive session to evaluate the superintendent and came out and gave him a contract. There was only 2 of us that voted against it. That was myself and Bobby Brown, because the public was not involved, not because there's any issue with the superintendent, but because there's an issue with the process and the board shutting out the public. So I hope you found this video informative. There'll be some more links in the chats. I'll try to set that up if this thing actually recorded this time. And thank you for watching.